Look what I have. It's the Dash Donut Bite Maker. Let's check it out. Counter cooking. No kitchen, no problem. So I bought this a few months ago and I have not even taken it out of the box yet. I was really looking forward to trying it, but then life got really busy and I didn't have a chance to use it. So I figured, let's give it a try today. This says it's a donut bite maker. It makes 9 donut bites at once. They are 1.5-inch donut bites, and this uses 500 watts. It comes with this little pamphlet. I'm surprised it's not their little book. They usually come with like a little book. Does it give us recipes in here? Oh wow, so this folds out. And it shows us how to use it, which I'm assuming is like all the other Dash products. This is what it looks like. It's pink. And here are all of the little donut holes. They're actually smaller than I thought they would be, so it'll be interesting to see how they come out. The reason why I thought I would open this up and try this appliance today, because it is St. Joseph's Day today. And normally for St. Joseph's Day, someone in my family will always make the St. Joseph's Day pastries. They're like little cream puffs. And it made me think of this little donut bite maker because I'm wondering if I can make like really mini cream puffs in it. Like what if I use cream puff dough and tried to cook it in this donut bite maker? Like what would happen? Would it make little tiny cream puff balls? I don't know, let's find out. But since this is a new appliance and I've never used it before, the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna like wipe down the inside with a damp paper towel. Rinse it off and plug it in and let it just burn off any kind of coating that might be on it. And I'll let it do that for like 15 or 20 minutes. I'm making the dough in my Nostalgia, my mini skillet, and I have this little copper saucepan that I use in this my mini skillet. I got this at Home Goods quite a while ago. It needs to be polished. Like it's definitely not nice and shiny right now. But it fits perfectly in this little appliance and it's a really nice size. So I think it's going to be big enough for the dough since I cut the recipe in half and it only calls for like 2 eggs, a half a cup of flour, 2 ounces of butter. So I think that should fit in this little pot. So before I plug it in, I'm just going to start assembling my ingredients. So I need to add 2 ounces of butter, which is half a stick of butter, and a half a teaspoon of sugar. I have some sugar in the raw, some turbinado sugar, so I'm just going to use this. Then I'm adding 4 ounces of water, which is a half cup. I just plugged this in and now I have to bring this up to a rolling boil. It's been a few minutes and we are coming up to a rolling boil. I'm just going to stir this. So basically what we have in this pot is just some butter with twice as much water as butter and just a little bit of sugar. And what I want to do next is add a half a cup of flour. So here's my half cup of flour. I'm supposed to add it all at once and I'm supposed to stir it immediately and keep stirring until a dough forms. It should form like a ball. I'm actually supposed to stir this pretty vigorously because I need to smooth it out. Yeah, it's coming together nicely actually. I'm going to remove it from the heat now. And I'm going to continue to stir it. It looks really nice. There's our ball of dough. It's nice and smooth. And now I'm going to add the eggs. I'm going to add the eggs one at a time. I'm going to add 2 eggs in total. They say that you want to use room temperature eggs, so I've had these eggs sitting out for a little while. I don't think they're all the way to room temperature, but I'm just going to use them. And I need to stir that in really well. The handle on the spoon that I'm using is so thin, so it makes it a little bit difficult to grip. But this is what we want. We just want it mixed in nicely so we still have a nice smooth dough. Now let's add the second egg. I'm holding the handle with some paper towels just to give me some extra grip. You can actually feel it like pulling together. So here's the dough. It's a nice smooth consistency. And now we are ready to make like our little cream puff pastries with it. Some people like to put this in a piping bag and pipe it into pretty little circles, but we've always just used like 2 spoons and done like the drop method. So for this donut hole maker, I'm just gonna use like little teaspoons. Here's the donut hole maker. I just plugged it in, and what I've realized is that there is no blue light on this appliance. There's no light at all, which is different for a Dash appliance because they always usually have 1 light, if not 2 lights. Like the older appliances even had 2 lights. The instructions just say to heat this up for 3 minutes before using it. It's been 3 minutes now. This should be nice and hot. And let's see what happens here. I'm still getting a bit of a chemical smell off of this appliance, but I did have it heating up for like 20 minutes before, and it's just been heating up for 3 minutes now. So we'll just see what happens. I'm putting a little bit of the dough in each donut hole. I don't know how much or how little I should use because I've never tried it in this appliance before. I don't even know if they're going to come out okay. The dough's a bit sticky. They should rise, so that's why I don't want to put too much in each one. It's sticking to the spoon. It's making it difficult. So ideally what will happen is the dough will rise and create like these donut hole shapes, and the center of it should be like empty because it'll be like a cream puff inside. So here's the dough. Let's shut this and let's see what happens. It's been 3 minutes and the lid on this has come up maybe like a ½ inch or more. I'm getting a really delicious aroma out of these. Let's just open it up and see what's going on. Look how cute those are. I'm gonna shut this and I'm gonna let them continue to cook and brown for like another 2 minutes. It's been another 2 minutes, so 5 minutes in total. Let's see what's going on now. Look how cute. They're golden brown. Let's take a temperature and see what's going on inside. All right, we are at, we're over 200. These are done. This is so cute. Can I just pull them out? Oh wow, they're so small and light. I wonder if they're gonna stay round or if they're gonna deflate. I don't know. They're so hot, I should not be doing this. This one looks like it's gonna deflate. I just dropped one on the floor. Okay, I'm gonna refill this with more dough and just continue doing this until I run out of dough. I feel like this time I'm putting more dough in each little hole because I think if I put a little bit more dough in, they're gonna hold their shape better. They'll have more of like a round shell. I don't know, I could be wrong. Okay, so this is what we have. Let's shut this. These are the ones that I just took out of the donut hole maker. And then this is the one that I said was looking like it's probably going to deflate. So I want to taste this. I'm just really eager to see how they came out. They taste like a cream puff without a filling. They're also not sweet because we only use like a ½ teaspoon of sugar. So these really need either some kind of sweet coating or sweet filling. I cooked the second batch for 6 minutes. So let's see what's going on inside. There they are. They look really good. And something that I've noticed is that the ones in the back are gonna cook more compactly than the ones in the front. Like these are gonna always be more airy just because of the way that the cover is on this. So when these start rising, this side gets pushed up more than that side does. So I think these definitely work better with more of the batter in each little indentation. These are all of the mini pastries that I just made. And this is what happens when you put too much dough in there. Do you see how the dough kind of creates this central layer that's like sticking out? I have 31 of these mini pastries here on the plate, and I'm just gonna let them cool. I need to cool them completely before I even attempt to fill them. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to fill them because they are so small. Normally when someone makes these in my family, they do like a custard filling. Sometimes they'll also do like a ricotta cheese filling, almost like a cannoli filling. It's maybe like an hour later, and these have cooled down a lot. So I wanna see what happens if we try to cut them in half. I'm just gonna take off some of that edge. Will they hold their shape, or are they gonna collapse? Yeah. They're looking like they want to collapse if I do that, but I mean, it did hold its shape pretty well. Like if I squeeze it, I could put some filling in there. So this should work for filling. I want to do like a sweet ricotta filling, but the ricotta cheese is a little bit too watery. So what I have here is some of the ricotta cheese in a strainer, and then I have it over a bowl, and I'm gonna let it sit here for maybe like an hour or so. I don't know if you could see, but there's some dripping going on already. I just want to dry it out a little bit more so it's not gonna just be a lot of wetness inside of these little pastries. It's been almost an hour, and this is what's going on. I don't know if you could see that, but there's a good amount of liquid that came out of this cheese. I just added the cheese to a bowl, and I'm sorry I did not measure how much cheese that is. Maybe it's like 2/3 of a cup. And now I'm gonna mix in some powdered sugar. I'm gonna start with a heaping tablespoon. I'm gonna taste it. I'm gonna add another tablespoon of the confectionery sugar, and I'm gonna add just a little bit of vanilla extract. Some people like to add a lemon flavor to it, or maybe some little candied lemon peel or candied orange peel, but I just like vanilla. Yeah, that's like perfect. Here's the little pastry that I cut open earlier, and I'm wondering if I could just take a little spoon and just spoon some of the filling in there. So that worked. That worked really well. Let's try another one. I just cut this one open also. It's like I'm feeding a little Pac-Man. I do have a set of pastry tips, so I just took one of the pastry tips and I attached it to this Ziploc bag. This is just a sandwich size bag. Let's see if it'll work better with a pastry bag. Here's the pastry. I just cut a little hole into it. Now let's see how the pastry bag does. That just worked. Let's do another one. There we go. All the cream puffs are filled. Once I got about halfway through, I just started to get into the swing of it, and it was really easy to fill them. When using a Ziploc bag to do filling, what you want to do is you want to twist the bag like around the filling. It just makes it so much easier to keep the filling in place. It doesn't go everywhere, and it makes it really easy to pipe it out. Like if you squeeze it, see how it just easily comes out? So the only thing left to do is sprinkle these with some powdered sugar. Here is the beautiful plate of mini St. Joseph Day pastries or cream puffs, and I can't wait to taste these. I don't know which one to try first. Let me grab one from the front. Here's our mini pastry. That is so good. This one did not have much filling inside, but it had just enough. I wish I could give you one to taste because they're so delicious. Let's try this one. Look at this one. This one has a lot of filling. As I was getting used to filling them, then I was able to really get a feel for how much filling to put in them. When I first started, I kind of had to figure it out because I haven't made filled pastries in quite a while. But once I got going, then you could kind of feel what you were doing. And yeah, it's so delicious. This is like better than a bakery. Let's try this one. This one's a little bit lighter, so I don't think it has as much filling. Yeah, you could see this one had less filling in it. These are the best donut holes I've ever had. How about this one? I think this one has a lot of filling in it. Yeah, there's a good amount of filling in there. So we have this delicious pastry, which is not sweet at all, but when you cover it with the powdered sugar, that adds a nice sweetness to the pastry. And then when you fill it with the sweetened vanilla ricotta cheese, all of the flavors work so well together. These are so delicious. I'd love to see how these come out with like a lemon curd filling. That would be really nice. Or even with like a jam filling. Then these would be like all mini jelly donuts. That would be fun also. But anyway, this is how easy it is to make some St. Joseph's Day pastries for St. Joseph's Day, which is today. I hope this video was helpful for you. If it was, please give it a thumbs up. Please subscribe to this channel if you'd like to see what else we can make in this mini appliance. Thanks so much for watching. Have a great day. Bye.